Good evening, people. Welcome to Reaching Out with Eddie, where my guest today is Mr. Robert J. Ray, candidate for mayor of the city of Meridian. And Mr. Ray, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
We just gonna jump right on in here. You know, when you hit the news the other day, they had a forum, I think, the Realtors Forum. And,
Yeah, Realtors Forum.
And one of the things that you stated on that is seeing the credit. But before we get into that, how about you just tell people a little bit about yourself? You know, like where you from, why you running for mayor, and that kind of thing.
Okay. My name is Robert J. Ray. I was born here in Meridian in 1946 out there at Anderson Hospital. And I finished high school here in 1963.
I got to stop you right there
because
my brothers and sisters are a lot younger than you, and I'm midwife, no one was born in a white hospital, Anderson Hospital. Everybody was born in Madison. Could you explain that, if you don't mind?
One reason I was born there because my granddaddy was a rich black man, richest black man probably in Mississippi at the time. And he lived up in Kemper County. So he made sure that my mother had the best treatment because the doctors and everybody knew who he was. They knew he was a rich black man up in Kemper County, up in Oak Grove. And a lot of white people used to borrow money off of him, which they didn't pay him back. But but he let them have it anyway. He said that's just the way the time was. And so that's where I was born at, is in Anderson Hospital. But the thing about it is, after I was born, they took me and my mother down to the basement, which that made me an automatic racist coming into this world. And it was like that from then on. I knew that there was a difference between me and the little white boy that was born up the same time I was born. So then I left Mississippi, went out into the world, and I got this professional development process and bought it. It was a franchise. It was the organism. Mine is the organism chapter 4. McDonald's sell food. We sell knowledge, rationale in the organism process. And that's what I'm gonna fix the police department with. I got it right here. And this is what every police department in the United States is looking for. And I fixed the prison system out there. I went out to the prison when they first opened.
Mm-hmm.
And I used this process on the inmates out there. And I got 100 inmates out of that prison, and they didn't go back. After 4 or 5 years, they didn't go back.
Could you explain that process that you're talking about?
Yeah. The process is a rational, emotive process, and it has exercises in it, such as the projection exercise and exercise like time and space. You know, that lets you know your surroundings a lot. We art form of music like Frank Sinatra song. I did it my way, and we do a death session. You know, let you know that even though people have to die, and when does death occur, and all of that kind of stuff. And we do thought words and feeling words. Like a lot of people got into their feelings the other day when I said that, but they don't ever think about it.
Wait a minute, slow down. When you said what?
When I said we had the dumbest kids on the planet here in Meridian.
Okay, now talk about that. And now you said that, and people did take issue with that because we had the dumbest kid in Meridian. I say that anytime a person speak candidly, they got to have facts to substantiate what it is they're saying. So what are your facts? Now, I know that if...
Let me cut my phone off here.
All right. And I'll talk to you. People, I got to say that I've read some of the comments, and I've heard what some of the people said, but I have not, and it's okay to be critical, and that's the name of this show, that it's okay to be critical, critiquing, looking at something deeply, wondering what a person's motives is. Now, if you're going to critique Mr. Ray like this, I would hope that you would critique everyone like this, meaning that you critique Jimmy Smith, you critique Weston Linderman. Anybody that's running for public office should be critiqued. If they say something, then you should be able to ask them to explain why they said what they say. Mr. Ray is here today to explain his position. So I would like for you again, I reiterate, now I'm not talking about breaking the law, but my vote is for sale. Now I say that metaphorically, meaning that I want to know what I'm getting for my vote. So it's okay to critique, but you guys need to critique everything like this, especially in our community, because of what we're going through and what we've been subjected to and what we lost in the city. You continue, Mr. Wright.
Yes, in the first place, the white supremacists that rule Meridian around here, they lowered the standard of learning here in Meridian when they started coming up with tests. And the kids in Meridian couldn't pass these tests, and that kept the standard going lower and lower. Every year, the rating was low. So the white supremacists got together and say, well, we got to fix this. So what they did is that they lowered the standard for the black kids in Meridian, which is destroying your education, really. And then I hear some students say that they give the teachers a script, like you going to play a role in a play, and they give this script to the teachers, and they tell them to use this script for these kids.
That's right. And
when they use that script, the kids lose a lot. They don't get everything they need, like the kids that's out in the county. And one lady, she said, well, my child has been making A's and B's and all up. You know, she was in Duffield and she was angry. But if you took that same kid that's making A's and B's in Meridian and took him out into the county, where those schools are, he would do good if he make a C.
That's right.
See, because it's a lot more you have to absorb when you get real education.
I'm a testament to that, because in 1984 I made who's who among American college students for making all A's for a complete year. I went to UAB, and me being all A's in West was either UAB has an intense studious program. It's just, I started struggling to make C's and B's. But eventually I got it, but I had to put out more, meaning that all school systems is just like you say, it's not the same. And then when you take a child that come from, like, say, Meridian Public School, and they go to some, even at MCC, they might have to take remedial math and English. They can't.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because one guy told me that he went to Kabul, and then he moved to North Carolina. He said he got in there with his grade. He said he didn't know what was going on. He said he was so far behind until it made him, it shocked him. He was afraid that he wasn't going to make it. And this is the way it is. Listen, people, the white supremacists down here in Meridian, they don't care if your kids make it or not, because they know that their kids is on the outside in the county. They're going to make it. They're going to get the scholarships, and they're going to go to college and get their degrees, and they're going to go and get the best jobs everywhere. But the black kids in Meridian, they're going to end up pregnant, baby mamas, and they're going to end up going to prison. That's what the white supremacists have in store for your kids here in Meridian. And if you reflect on it, you will see that that's what's happened.
And look
about
at
the pipeline.
Yeah, that's right. Prison, and they have not done anything to address that. Even now, they haven't done that. And even with Amy Carter, still, she does not have a consistent plan for teaching our children. You know, one school is different from the next school, but basically the Meridian Public School. And one thing to kind of like to indicate some, suggest truth in what you're saying is that they continue to hire her year after year after year. And she's fairly, if she was working for a corporation, they would have fired her a long time ago.
They should have do. Yeah. But see, the white people that's in charge, they want her. They perfect for her. She's perfect for them, because they want her to be sure that these kids fail like they've set it up for them to do. And that's what she does. She makes sure that they fail, and then she give a lot of excuses the next year, and the cycles just keep going on and on.
I got to ask you this. Before you ran as a Democrat, you've been running as a Democrat. What made you change over and run as a Republican?
I studied the Democrats. The Democrats are like magicians and dissemblers. They'll say one thing and they'll do another. So what happened is in '64, and see in the early '60s and '64, people lived at home and they had a father there,
That's
mother
right.
there, and they would get their inspiration from them, and they would get their discipline from the father there. But the federal government come in and told these females that we'll give you a check for your kid, but the man can't
be in the home.
Can't be in the home.
That's right.
That destroyed the black family. here in the South and in Marina, anywhere else that they use this wicked plan at.
Yeah.
See, they knew what they was doing, but the black people said, "Oh, we're gonna get some checks, we'll get some money." But now you got females trying to raise males, and they can't do it. Once these little females get 8, 9, 10, 11, females can't handle them. They can't control them.
Right.
And once they get to be a teenager, they'll beat their mama up if necessary,
Yeah.
because they can't do it. But another reason I went is because Martin Luther King was a Republican. Everybody loved Martin Luther King, but they didn't know that he was a Republican. Nobody never mentioned it. And Frederick Douglass was
That's right.
a Republican. And he said the main thing, he said, it's better to raise up a child, in the way that he needs to be, rather than try to fix a broken man.
That's right.
Now, I got proof of that. It's hard to fix these men out there in prison.
That's right.
But my process did it. I fixed them. These guys was reading, these guys that came from a region and just about all over Mississippi were reading at a 3rd grade level. That's what they read at out there at the prison, 3rd grade level.
So why did you stop doing it? What happened? Too successful?
You got it. You hit it right on the head. You real perceptive there. So this is what happened. Okay, about 5 years down the line, I was using this process. I call them the demons from down in Boca Raton. That was the GEO's executive. They came up. They asked, and it was a black executive. Mm. And he told me, he came up with me, he pulled me to the edge. He said the reason they coming up here for that is that they was in the board meeting, and one of the white executives asked, "Where's all these inmate niggas at? How come they ain't coming back to prison?" Mm-hmm. So now they wanted me and my counsel, Miss Lachelle, to do a survey and call all of these black men that was out there living their life, being successful, working their jobs and stuff, not coming back to prison. And they wanted us to do a survey on them, which was wrong in the first place. You're not supposed to even mess with an inmate once he gets out of prison.
Right.
You ain't supposed to mess with him at all. You ain't supposed to be calling him and trying to find out how come he ain't coming back to prison. But I knew what they was doing, though, see. Yeah. So we called all of these inmates. We did the survey. Out of the 100 that had left, 91 that went through my process was still out there after 5 years. And the other 11, one of them had died. He went back out and tried OxyContin again, and his system wasn't ready for it, so he died. And the rest of them left, and they didn't know where they were. But I knew they was gone out there to be successful.
Right, getting out of the South, getting out of this area. So what makes the Republican Party better than the Democratic Party?
Nothing.
Especially now. Yeah.
Nothing at all. It's just the fact that was my strategy to use. Since wasn't a Republican running,
right? I
said, well, let me get in there. I won't have to be in there with all of these Democrats fighting for the bones, of the party to get to me. So that was my strategy to do that. But finishing up on the process, they came to me and said, well, we're going to put a new process in. Mm-hmm. Mine working now, perfect. But they said they were going to get Hazelton's process and bring it in and eliminate what me and Ms. Shannon was doing. And so they did that, but I still using my process. And they came, and then they come back up there, and Mr. Ray, they say you still using your process in the alcohol and drug therapy room. I say, well, I can't share anything about that with you. I say, because of confidentiality law. So you can't say. So they couldn't get around it. Because if they would have pushed any more on their thing, the government would come in and shut the whole place down. Yeah. Because you don't speak anything about what goes on in the alcohol and drug therapy room.
That's right, counseling. You can't get it.
So they let that alone. Then they came back another time. They say, we've been studying your process, Mr. Ray, and we would like to buy it. So we are willing to give you $10,000 for it. I said, no, I'll pass on it. They said, oh, wait a minute now. We are authorized to go up to $20,000. So it went up to 20,000. I said, hey, well, I'll still pass on, but thanks anyway.
Yeah.
And then oh wait, let us call corporate. They went out the room like they calling corporate and stuff like that. You know, they just think black people are just dumb. They don't know what's going on.
And they can buy us.
Yeah, and they can buy us. And see, and this is what
some of us they can, but some of us they can't.
Yeah, 99% of them they can buy.
Yeah.
But me, I'm one. I can't be
I'm
bought.
not one that I cannot be bought. I can attest for the dice, man. You can't buy the dice, man. And I know a couple other folks you can't buy.
See, and we are a real rare group. We need to start us a club. But anyway, they went up to $50,000 for this process I had. I told them, I said, no, I say you can stop. I said, I wouldn't even sell it for $1 million.
Yeah.
I say, because I helped my mentor's wife. My mentor died when I was in training with acute leukemia.
Right.
So I helped her run the organism and got my franchise and did my training so I could do my own franchise. I said, I helped my mentor's wife make $750,000 out of her basement one year. And so that shocked them. So they left. And then the next thing they do, they tried to fire me. They started bringing up all kind of charges on me. So that's what they did. So they tried to fire me. It took them 5 years to fire me because I was never late. I was there. The first 5 years, I never missed a day until I found out that they wasn't going to give me my money in a big check. You had to use it as you go along.
Comp time.
Comp time.
Yeah.
You had to use it. So they took them 5 years, and the way they did it is they got a black dude to say that I assaulted him. And then they called the police.
Get somebody to lie on you.
They lied on me. They got 10 people to come down to get up in the stand at the court and lie, say I assaulted him. But then they had one stupid investigator. He got up there and said, "Yeah, you assaulted him. We got a video of it." That's when I knew I had him. So they had to give me the video because they said they had it. So,
right, that's right.
And every time I show the video to somebody, and when it ended, they would say, "Well, where's the assault at?" You know what? I had to take my case. They convicted me down there. I had to take a simple assault case all the way to the United States Supreme Court
to win.
No, they wouldn't hear the case. I knew they weren't going to hear the case, but I just wanted people to always know what a black man has to go through in the court system and the justice system.
And folks, you got look at Mr. Ray. You heard what he just said. Now that's how I fight my case without these trumped up charges on. I'm not going to go away quiet into the night. I'm going to fight tooth and nail. And anybody trying to destroy me, I'm going to do everything I can to destroy them too. I want to tell you this, Mr. Ray, that simple salt, I can get it, I can expunge it.
It's already expunged. I got it expunged.
Okay. Smart man.
Yeah.
But anyway, tell us why, let's talk about the mayor. Let's talk about your candidacy, your platform, and the things that you're going to do, like for this city, problems that you see wrong in this city, and what you're going to do to fix it.
Yeah.
And then, Dice, do we need to open up the lines now after we come back from break? We'll open the phone lines up. So y'all get ready to write your questions down or put them in the comments, and Mr. Ray most certainly answer your question. Huh? No stupidity. Yeah. It's okay to be critical. It's okay to be critical. But, I have a lot of respect for you, your ideas and everything. I haven't heard you say anything wrong. So tell us about your candidacy. How's it going? Are you going to win?
Yeah, I'm going to win because people in a popular delusion now, everybody's on the dumb kids. But after they come out of that delusion, and once they see what I'm going to be able to do for the city, and they don't understand. I'm going to be bringing...
So are you saying that our children are dumb, not because they're dumb, because they're not being educated?
They're not being educated, and they're in that dumb system.
In the dumb system,
listen.
See how
after I said
system.
After I told them that, my neighbors, them, who was angry about them jumping on me like it was, they went on the smartphone. The smartphone's supposed to know everything.
Right.
They asked, what was the dumbest state in America?
Oh, it said Mississippi.
Mississippi popped up.
Yeah,
First one.
Sure do.
They asked, who's the most uneducated
Mississippi
state?
Popped
Mississippi. So why jump on the messenger?
Yeah.
I wrote it on my Facebook. Why try to kill the messenger when it's the genuine truth? I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to go out there and tell all them white people that investigated it,
Yeah.
and found out that, hey, Mississippi would have to qualify as number one.
When it comes to things that are good, Mississippi's at the bottom. When it comes to things bad, Mississippi's at the top.
Exactly.
It has never changed.
And I'm going to change that.
Yeah. And we need to, folks, we need to be critical. We need to critique. Anybody that's running for office need to tell us what it is that they're going to do. I got to ask you, what about those department heads? Are you planning on keeping the department heads? What's your idea about the different department heads?
When I get in there, I'm going to look at who's doing what.
Uh-oh.
See, and who's doing what. And if they're not actualizers, if they're not doing anything for the city, and see, already I'm
You know, Weston
biased.
Letterman said he's going to fire everybody.
Yeah.
He's replacing all department heads.
Yeah, I'm pulled to him for that but he knows the inside of it. See, he's been observing it.
So explain that again, because I like what you just said. Say it again.
See, he's been observing and checking everybody's job out. He gave me some he told me about some. They say one guy in there, the standing joke is, where's so and so? Yeah, he's supposed to be on the job. Everybody asks, where's him? It's a joke.
Yeah.
And then the thing that knocked me out of control is that these people was making $70,000 and $80,000, $90,000 a year, and I didn't even know these people.
Oh, yeah?
I say, what are they doing for this money? I mean, the city is not
I got to
growing.
ask you about the chief of police. We have a lot of problem with the chief of police and the city of Meridian. Even just recently, this week, a couple of days ago, the chief of police went and asked the Civil Service Board to allow for him to promote an assistant chief and 2 captains, but not going and take the test, but just a verbal test. Basically, he get to ask them some questions and then he promote them. Again, circumventing the process. They have a lot of people, good officers such as Rita Jacks, Chris Scott, Anthony Ball, and even Thomas Van. All these are black officers that have been overlooked for their seniority, their education, and everything, and even passing the test, and they promoted white folks over them, white males over them. Then you have Brunel, who was acting captain, should have been fired recently for sexually, he's charged with sexual harassment of Krista Mean, and so instead of firing him, they take her and send her like to, I think, Lakeview Golf Course somewhere, and then they put him on patrol, and now they say he done had a heart attack and he's out. But these are the kind of things that go on with the police department. What's your plan for fixing that police department?
Listen, I got it right here. The comprehensive systemic racism prevention and systemic racism recovery training professional development process for police officers and sheriffs. They want something like this all over America.
So, but you didn't tell me about Rita Jacks, who been there 26 years, and now she's at the mall, and you got her boss hadn't been there nowhere near that long. Rita Jacks from here, he's not here. Rita Jacks not on. She's been discriminated against. She's been sexism, discrimination. She's been treated so unfairly, and then unfair job practices. Are you going to keep that chief of police? Basically, what I'm asking you that question, are you going to replace him? We have a city court judge that found almost everybody that threw their guilty. Robert Jones, who illegally placed Greg Gillen's name on the NCIC. He ordered his people to do that. These are the kind of things going. Are you going to keep Robert Jones? Are you going to keep?
Listen, I have been telling people for years. I say, look how they victimizing your families and your loved ones down there at the court every Tuesday, Wednesday when they hold court. I say, just like Red Fox say, it's enough niggas in here to make a Tarzan movie.
That's right.
And that's all that's down there. I go in there, every time I go in there, taking somebody down there or whatever, I count the white people down there. I haven't counted over 20 yet.
That's right.
Down there. So, yeah, it's systemic racism.
I haven't counted over. When I go in there, every time I went in there with my sons or I've always seen, I hadn't seen 20. Unless you're talking about 20 all together. Usually I see like about 2 to 3.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Most of.
But except for the judge and the prosecutor and everybody that's white, are you planning on changing that system?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that system will be changed. Listen, this is what...
Who's going to be your charge for chief of police?
This is... Chief of police. I talked to Rita about it. Me and her talked a lot. I go out there. I'm about one of the only people go out there and visit her back there in the back there.
Yeah.
And she's pulled to the process. She want to put this in there.
Yeah.
She want to put it in there. But when we were supposed to go talk to Reed about it, he wouldn't see us.
Oh, he's not going to see you. I went in the other day. I'm the one, Thomas Van also is a very good officer that's being treated unfairly and demoted illegally. And a lot of the whites that have been promoted illegally. I think that what Percy is trying to do when he did this thing with civil service people, and this is me speaking in my opinion, has nothing to do with the candidate here. I think what Percy is so afraid of going to jail, he's trying to place people in place that can't be fired, people that will protect him for the illegal activities that he's done. See, if somebody's promoted to captain, Western London has knew that in 1 year. So you people that might think you're gonna get this job, person, won't you just go away quiet? The people have rejected you. The people don't want you. It is wrong for you during your lame duck session to appoint peoples and do some last minute changes. But I think what Percy's doing is he's trying to put people in place that will not put him in jail. But guess what? Everybody gonna end up going to jail.
This is what Percy's dad, he was so hurt and angry that y'all rejected his son. This is Percy, what he did when he was out there was 8 years. That's right. A lot of stuff he did, right? Why did the people reject him?
He ain't done anything. All those things are nothing but a bunch of lies. And Percy has not done anything. If any of you believe that, go around in this city and look. Go into that courtroom and look what he's steady doing. If he done so much, ain't done anything. Ain't done anything. And Percy ain't done nothing.
And if it was anything that was good for the people, they would have kept him in there.
Sure would.
They kicked him out.
Kicked him out. You got kicked out, Percy. And all the hot dogs you gave away, all the hamburgers you gave away, all the free blues music, everything you did.
Mr. Holt,
if he had not done all of that, Percy, you probably wouldn't even got 2,000 votes. Man. Probably if you hadn't done all that. But even doing all of that, you was on the news. You was everywhere. You did everything you could do to stay in office. You do not have any complaint about your actions. You did every possible thing, hook, crook, line, sing. You did it all. It did not work. The people soundly rejected him.
They hurt him. They hurt his feelings real bad.
And ain't no sense in running 4 years from now because we're going to hurt your feelings even worse then. We done with you. We done with anybody. A lot of you new candidates that are in there. You're coming in there and you're thinking you're going to get in there and fall lockstep in. Business users. We're not accepting that anymore. We want people we want to know what it is that we're getting, and we want people that's going to bring about true change.
Sure it is. And then you can't get people from other cities to come here and love your city.
That's right.
See, they come here, if they get in position, they use your city to enrich themselves. See, I can't be bought. The money thing don't matter to me. Yeah. I buy what I want, which is health, food, pay my bills all on time, all the time, and keep me a nice car to drive. And I'm comfortable with that. To get to where I need to go and take other people where they need to go and do something for the community. And that's how I live my life. Now, the same thing I'm going to do for the mayor's job is fix everything in it. Fix everything, because this is a process that fixes people, places, and things.
Right.
The first thing I'm going to fix is the police department. I'm going to train 20 police officers, 5 white males, 5 black males, 5 white females, 5 black females, to go through this process.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Why you got to get 5?
Because it's dealing with racism.
But let me deal with the devil. Let me be the devil's advocate for a minute. Most of your life and most of my life in Meridian, Mississippi, they ain't had 5 blacks in nothing when they had white mayors. All this time. Now, why is it every time we get somebody that's going to be in a position of power and authority, they want to reach out to the other community to try to show that they're not racist? I don't care for that much. I think that if we're in a situation where 75% of the people black folks, and 75% of the people should be black people, look like us and not like them. I'm so tired of looking at white role models that doesn't understand me. I know I'm different from people that are my age. I'm talking about white folks that are my age. I'm different from them because I had a different type of education from them. Yeah. So my point in that is that I'm so tired of looking up, I'm tired of looking at white Jesus. I'm just telling you the truth. I want to see a black dude. No, it ain't about color. I'm metaphorically speaking. I mean, I'm tired of looking at people that are not like me telling my story. I'm tired of people that are not like me looking out for me and telling me when I got you and I got Dice and I got people that are like me that can tell my story and I can look at them and I can model myself after them.
Hey, now I'm poor to your comments, but the reason I'm doing this is because it is racism training. All of these officers going to have their racism pushed from the center of their being to the circumference. These will be different white men when they come out of there. These will be different black men and white women and black women. All of them going to be so holistically and so professionally developed until they're going to make sure that everybody else in that department does their job in an honestly, just, and sincere way. If you got 20 people that's got integrity, that's doing their job honestly, justly, and sincerely, then nobody is going to be able to do anything. Like the stuff that Reed trying to do down there, if I had 20 officers that have been through this process, they wouldn't let him do it. They would be on him. They would, what are you doing? Yeah. You can't do that. See, so once I get those 20, then I'm going to train some of these to train others.
I don't have a problem with you training 20 officers. It's just the problem is that you're training 10 whites and 10 blacks, and the city is not set up like that.
Yeah, but they're going to always have white officers.
No, I didn't say that.
But you want white officers that when they go out, they can go out to the black community and do their job honestly and sincerely, and have the people pull to them. You
I understand all.
Yeah, because they're gonna be a different individual once they go through this process. This is 24 sessions, 3-hour sessions.
But you know what? It's some good people from a different race. You know, white folks. A lot of the people that hurt us most been black people. Look at this mayor, look at this administration, and look at a lot of the people that won't be in there anymore. Is that they are people like you and I, black like us, but they've hurt us worse than anybody that's not black like us.
Sure, because they're being puppet. They are being ran like a puppet, like the white supremacists running. The white supremacists, they sit back and look and say, well, let's do this to the black people. And the black people don't know it. They don't know it.
I got to ask you this, is that here's what my problem is, and have any of the so-called leaders from the other community met with you?
No, they wouldn't do it. I met with Chris Bullock. He's the little chairman of the board. I asked him, I say, I'm
chairman of the what?
Of the Republican Party.
Okay.
I asked him, I say, I'm running as a Republican. Y'all got any money y'all can share with me and help me out? No, we ain't got no money. We ain't got no money. I say, well, can you do anything for me? Well, I might be able to give you mail you an email list with some Republicans that you might be able to do it. 2 weeks went by, 3, he ain't sent nothing. Then the other day, he come out against me. You know, he said that about our kids. He don't live in this community. He don't live. There wasn't none of these his kids we was talking about. But that was his way of washing his hands of me, not having to give me anything. See?
Yeah, I gotta say this is that I have a child go to Marine Public School, and I have a son that goes to Tuscaloosa City Schools, and even though she's like 3 grades ahead of her, he's smarter than she is. So what you said did not offend me, because some of the things that I asked her, she's not able to answer me or either give me the right answer to it, and it's things that she should know being in that grade that she's in.
It's just the parents that's not doing their job, the ones that got angry. And they know their kids are not up to par.
What about the business community? Has anyone from the business community met with you?
No, nobody from the business community.
Did you try? Did you try?
I must have. Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah.
I think I did touch with some people. But when I mentioned systemic racism,
right,
training for the police department, sheriff's there, everybody, they shy away.
Why do people want to run for? See how I spoke, how you speak and how I speak? It's hard to get that from people like you, me, and anybody else, especially. And we got to be realistic. We got to talk about issues that are real to us. We got to talk about things that are actually happening to people. We can't talk about things that are correct. Or we got to, and I don't supposed to say it because it ain't right. I don't supposed to say it because it might hurt somebody feeling. We're going to have to start hurting some people feeling. We're going to have to if we're going to go to that next level.
Yeah, I don't care about people's feelings.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you that right now.
Same here.
You sustain your own feelings. Your feelings will change.
That's right.
That's why I tell people,
Yeah.
if I get you into your feelings gonna change. So I don't worry about that. But what
You are a smart man, Mr. Ray.
what I do worry about is this process could put Maria, Mississippi on the map, the world map. Who would say Meridian is the only police department doing systemic racism training?
Right.
Where did they come from? Where did that come from? And every other city in the United States will be bringing their money here. And see, I'm going to film every session.
Mm-hmm.
We would already be making money off of the filming of the sessions way before we even start any training.
One of the things, and we're going to take a break in a minute, one of the things that I like to point out to you is that GEO that you're talking about, I don't think they own the private prison. I think they've sold it to someone else, and they might still own it. But what we talk about, folks, we're talking about private prison. They privatize prison. And there's no way, if I have stock in a prison, any prison that I have stock in a sense I own, and everybody in that prison work for me, that prison is not going to put my child in jail. I don't care what my child do. I said this to say this, is that somebody got to fill those prisons, and they want those prisons to be filled up with people like me, like black children. That's the reason why our children are not being educated. That's the reason why they didn't want your program there, because there's no recidivism. There's no coming back. They don't want that, and that's the reason why they have not really addressed this schoolhouse to confinement. They have not really addressed that, because the people that own stocks and bonds in these prisons are judges and senators and lawyers, and there's not many black folks in any of the states that are judges and senators and representatives. It's people from white folk, and they're not going to send their children to prison. They're going to send their children, when they get caught with drugs, they go into a drug treatment facility. Mm-hmm. I was going to prison, so you understand how all these things work. And then they're even making it illegal for us to have abortions. You know, it was legal. I'm pro-choice. It was legal, but they don't want the black mother now to have an abortion. They want to keep having them children. They're not educating, so that they end up in the system. Exactly. They end up out there at Wackenhut and places like that.
They plan their prison ban on 3-year-old black kids.
That's right.
All the 3-year-old black kids, they plan their budget according to these 3-year-old black kids.
That's right.
Now, if that ain't racism, if that ain't demonic, I don't know what is. But these women fall right into it. The black women fall right into it. Right. Instead of making sure that their kids is going to be disciplined properly and brought up in an orderly manner, they let them run wild. I see kids running wild all the time.
How about it? And I ain't gonna call the person name, but I see her son hit his sister, and I see her take her, and I say something. She started immediately making excuses for the son. Mm-hmm. She just gonna love him straight to jail. She gonna or to hell, jail or hell, one or the other. Because the love she give him, ain't nobody out there in the streets gonna give it to him. When he go to school, the teacher's not gonna ain't gonna condone it, get kicked out of school
all the time.
And you know, and I'm saying it out of love, but they get offended by it and things like that. I just stop talking.
They're not gonna be invited in the polite company. They curse. Yeah, and when you get out in the polite company, you can't do that. Right. But they don't know any other way. That's their behavior pattern. Their families have let them do this stuff. And then when society steps in and starts to correct them, then they want to go run into the NAACP. They going to run into the law. Oh, they doing my son wrong. You should have raised your son right and your daughter right.
In the beginning, from day one. From day one. Dice, let's take a break, and we'll come back, and we're going to open up the phone lines, and you can leave your comments for Mr. Ray, and you can call in. Dice, take us a break. We got it, Folks, welcome back to Reaching Out with Eddie. You know, my voice is a little bit different. I don't mind telling you that I have been fighting the cold. Mr. Ray, you're going to cure me, though, right?
Oh, sure.
All right.
I'm a holistic healer.
The man is 74 years old, and he doesn't have any health issues. I mean, he doesn't take any pills. He doesn't have high blood pressure, no PSA problem, none of that.
My oxygen blood is 96. My 16-year-old neighbor, he takes it, and his was 98. Mine was 96.
And he's living witness. I mean, when you have somebody that's like that, you definitely want to know what it is that they're doing. Okay, but anyway, folks, we're going to read your comment. But Mr. Ray, before we get to those comments, Dice Man reading the comments, we open up the phone line. I want you to give your opinion about the different mayoral candidates. I want you to tell me what you think about Weston Lindemann, his platform. He's running it, and I want you to tell me the same about Jimmy Smith.
Weston Linderman, he's a good statistics guy, but he's too inexperienced and he's too young to try to lead a city with these many black people in it. He don't understand the black genius. He never experienced what black people ever experienced. He never had probably, I don't know this for sure, but I don't think he ever had a best black friend in time. I would project that he had. And plus the time that he ran when they threatened him, he ran and hid.
I gotta say this: when they came here to kidnap me, I hid out too. I call that self-preservation.
You can't do that if you're in the city, if you working for the people, you can't run and hide.
Well, if you want to.
But see, you wasn't working for the city.
I don't think it would matter who you working for. If they try to kill you,
you can't be afraid to die. I'm not afraid to die.
Well, I ain't afraid to die.
See, I'm not afraid of threats.
Yeah.
Somebody threaten me, I'm not going to be hiding under my desk.
Yeah.
You bring it on if that's what you want to do. You bring it on because you're the one that's going to get victimized in the end. But he's just too young to try to lead a city and try to deal with the people that he's going to have to deal with. See, I'm going to be dealing, my committee is going to be dealing with the big companies because I'm going to have professional workers down here. I'm going to have people training professional workers, so when we go out there to talk to these people, they're going to say, well, yeah, that's okay. We got professional workers. That's what we want. So that's what he is. He's just too young, and he's not familiar with the black genius enough to try to lead the black. It's 62% black women in Marine and 24% black kids, and the rest of them is black males. You can't have a 24-year-old young white boy because they come a dime a dozen. You got hundreds of individuals out there in the county schools that could do the same thing Linderman does because they're being trained. They're getting educated. Their families is rational thinking people, see. But he's not ready to lead a whole city. He's not ready to do that.
Okay, Jimmy Smith.
Jimmy Smith, I feel sad about him. People called me and told me that Jimmy has had 2 strokes and is suffering with dementia. And I observed that when I was passing the microphone out there at the forum the other day. And some other people have told me that he keeps repeating himself. I just don't think, I don't think a person that has had strokes and is getting on the first dementia, and then somebody threw in that he has been an alcoholic all his life. So we can't feel sorry for people to let them be mayor. We can't do that.
So I agree with that, but what about his qualifications?
He's not qualified anymore. When you have a stroke, your qualifications is gone. When you coming down with dementia, your qualifications is gone, like the wind. You can't run. But now I understand why he's bringing Sherry Berry in back, because he wouldn't be being mayor. Sherry Berry would be running.
So
back.
Explain that about Sherry Berry.
She's the mayor. She done been the mayor. Yeah. So if Jimmy brings her back in, he'll be a parrot.
Bring her back in to it.
As one of his administrators.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to get that out there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And that's what I was told that he said that. He said himself that he would bring back Sherry Berry in. And that would be for him as he got the dementia caught up with him and the strokes caught up with him, then they would have somebody there to run there.
So if we elect a person that's going to bring an old administration back or keep the same administration, it's all for naught, in my opinion. And that's what you mean by being a parrot, that he would be a parrot?
Sure. That's exactly what would happen. And you don't want to go backwards. But people in Mississippi, they
backward as
you
hell.
don't know. You never can count them out on going back.
Dice, want to read some of our comments? And Dice, open up the phone lines for the people.
Okay. What we got here? We got Loretta Bennett says greeting.
What's up, Lolo? You ain't calling in today?
Should be calling. Mary Harper says, what is your plan to get the youth attention because they are our future? And that's for you, Mr. Ray.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I just said I have the process part for the teens, for the junior high, And for the elementary, once they get into the process, let me tell you what I did one time. I went and worked for for Mr. Hood over at the Boys and Girls Club. I told him, I say, look, I come down here and straighten these kids out for you if you want. So he said, yeah, and they was running like little chimpanzee monkeys running all over the place, just loud. So I did a group. So he said, well, I'm gonna let you do a group. I said, okay, I'm just gonna charge you $50 a session. Now that's 25 kids that I'm working with. I went in there. First time I went in there, I just sit there. They was just loud all over the place. Then I said, okay, y'all ready to go? I said, I'm ready if y'all ready. So it got quiet. So I started giving them the process. I did a session with them. You know, they left out. They was dumbfounded. They had never been through anything like that before. I did that 6 sessions, and they was coming in. Then they would come in and sit, and you wouldn't anybody say anything.
Our children do have the ability to learn. They just got to be.
They can learn,
but they got to be taught by the right people, and they got to be taught the right things.
And that's right, in the right process.
Yeah,
I
right
had
process.
them going good. And then Ricky come in and told me, say, well, you can't. I'm gonna have to let you go.
Why?
I said, let me go, cause his committee down there didn't want to pay a black man $50 for doing a session with the kids.
And that's what's wrong with this city. That's what's wrong with it. It's who you is, color your skin, and all that. They got to get away from that. Got to get away from that when it comes from. Yeah, I know it. I like to call my brother name too, but I know what he's saying. Bro, you just said hire black folks. Yeah, hire black people. We need to have people that are more like us, especially for our children. Our children need to see that they can be. And then people that haven't been through what you and I have been through, they don't understand our history or our story. And only we can tell that.
And they wouldn't pay me. Yeah. Ricky paid me $600 out of his own pocket.
Ricky Hood's a good person.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He really is. He's one good guy in Marie. That's the reason he's good. He got a year from that time. I was downtown, and this little girl came up to me. She said, "You Mr. Ray, ain't you?" Say, "You did." I said, "Yeah." I said, "How do you know?" She said, "I was in that group that you was doing out at the Boys and Girls Club, and I really hated that they didn't let you keep going." We gotta call her. She said that if I would have stayed in there, I wouldn't have got pregnant.
Yeah. Okay, let's answer. Okay, caller, you on the air?
What's up, Mr. Hope?
Hey, hello.
What up, Dice?
What's up, love?
What up, Mr. Ray? I used to work with Mr. Ray out there at the prison.
How you doing?
All right. First things I want to talk about, you talking about doing your systemic racism course for MPD if you win the seat. And you're going to start out with 20 officers, 5 black female, 5 white female, 5 black male, 5 white male. You must be planning on going to get the officer from another department because I don't think MPD even have 20 police officers on the force down there.
She's right.
Say what?
She's right.
Well,
you know, it's hard for them to retain officers with all the foolishness going on. But I want to touch base off a comment you made about City Council Weston Lindeman. I've been knowing Weston Lindeman for a few years now. He's a real intelligent young man. Matter of fact, the Lauderdale Democratic Party chose for him to go to Washington, D.C. to represent Lauderdale County. He was 18 years of age at the time. Mind you now, we got some old heads, a member of Lauderdale County Democratic Party, and basically majority black, chose this white young guy to go and represent Lauderdale County Democratic Party as a delegate for Hillary Clinton. He also was a delegate for Bernie Sanders. Anyway, he does have a lot of black friends, and Weston Lindeman, age shouldn't matter because the citizen of Ward 5 chose him as the youngest person in Meridian to ever represent a ward. He was elected at the age of 19 as City Council Ward 5. Weston Lindeman been the only city council on that city council board during his 4 years fighting for the black community when you have black city council on that city council board have yet to do it. Weston Lindeman was the only city council that came out to those protests, Gary Barber protest, with the Levi Gill situation. He was the only city council, so he can relate to the black community. He don't discriminate. He wants to be fair and firm across the board. But here it is, this white young male on the city council board been holding this administration foot to the fire for the 4 years he's been there on the board, while the other council just sit there and allow Percy Bland to have his way. Now, age shouldn't matter. Age shouldn't matter at all. You got people that been on the city council board since Moses departed the Red Sea, such as George Thompson. What do you see going on brand new in Ward 1? Absolutely nothing. It's the same old, same old. So I think there's nothing wrong with having someone young, that energetic. It's been energetic since he's been on the city council board. You know, give him a chance to run this city. I think he would do an awesome job. He would do a better job than Percy Bland. Percy Bland, 50 years of age. Name one accomplishment that Percy Bland done that you know personally that he done. I saw you holding up the flyer. It looked like 4 feet tall. That Percy Bland's so-called accomplishment. That nigga ain't done shit. That flyer you have in your hand, that nigga ain't done shit. Nothing but lie to the citizens. Nothing but lie. But I want to ask you this question before I hang up.
Okay.
Have you reached out to Jimmy Smith and asked him, is he willing to give you and Weston Linderman a debate?
No, but I think when Linderman said something about, and someone else said that there should be a debate, and we will ask him that. We will see if he.
Yeah, I think it should be a debate, because a debate is much better than a forum. I seen one of Percy Bland's supporters yesterday morning. I saw where she tagged Weston Linderman on the post regarding the comment that you made at the Northwood Country Club Realtor Forum the other day, saying that him and Jimmy Smith basically agreed to the statement that you made because they were silent. Well, the people need to know that wasn't a debate. It wasn't anything for Jimmy Smith nor Weston Linderman to rebuttal.
That's right.
It was a forum. It wasn't a debate just because they didn't intervene and say anything about it. Doesn't mean they agree with your statement or disagree with your statement. But since I've been knowing you since 2005, I knew exactly where you were going when you said Meridian has some dumb kids. I knew exactly where you were going, and I told people that's the way he is. I can respect for somebody to being honest. At least we know where you stand. At least we know that you ain't going to hold back shit. And at least we know you're going to stand by what you say now. If it would have been me, I probably would have had delivered different. Doesn't matter if it wouldn't say that I'll be right or wrong for the way that I would have delivered. But everybody know.
Yeah, you'd have threw some profanity in there.
everybody know that Meridian Public School been a D rate for some years now, D's and F.
That's
I
right.
have a great niece that graduated last year. She graduated with honors. I have a niece now. She be going off to the reserve. I think sometime next week or probably this weekend. She be going out to basic training. She's an 11th grade student. She have high honor. But see, that smartness didn't come from a Reading Public School. It came from, look, it's in the bloodline. Then my niece, it's her kid. She real smart, and she educates her kids at home. Now, my niece is my great niece. I'm just telling y'all about. Is my oldest sister's grandkid. My oldest sister. She's a product of St. Patrick's School. My older sister went to St. Patrick's School. And then she left. After she finished St. Patrick's School, she went on to Meridian Public School. But it was my father and mother that made sure they kept on the straight line at home, teaching her at home. Because what she got at home, she wasn't going to get at school. And she got multiple degrees up under her belt, multiple degrees. But it just didn't come with her being a product of Meridian Public School. It came with her being a product of a mother and father that stayed on our ass. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's a lot of things that goes on, too. Parents had to get off on their kids' ass, too. You know, I looked on Facebook the other day, and I seen a good many people that was upset by the statement you made. And then I seen a good many people that agreed to what the statement that you made. But some of the people that took offense, they only took offense. I'm saying some of them. They only took offense because they really don't care about their kids' education anyway. And then when someone says something, you know, they get offended by it, and they only offended by it because it hit them, because they know they're not doing the right thing by their child. If they say they ass out the club and start doing all this drinking, start smoking all these weed, the damn
you hitting the nail on the head.
Nick Rose and shit, they can put in time with their kids themselves. I mean, you go to a teacher-parent conference day, the damn room be empty as fuck. Do they really care about their child education? You know, I ask the question all the time, do you really care about your child's education? Because when it comes to parent-teacher conference, you don't hardly see anything there. But do a school supply drive. Give away free school supply. Your line will be long as hell. But come teacher-parents conference day, day's a no-show. And then they kids fuck around
or when it's time to vote.
To school and beat their administrator.
Yeah. Thanks, Lo, for calling in. Appreciate that.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head,
Yeah.
Lieutenant Bennett. And,
Yeah. Yeah, Dice, read some more of those comments.
Okay. Let's see what we got here.
Everything she said was true, you know. Parents got to be involved.
yeah, they have to be. Yeah, but see,
And then
the Democrats
not even
destroyed that.
applaud. Oh, you know what? They actually done created a big fix. It's kind of like a system that perpetuates itself. The mother not doing anything, then the children and them not doing anything. So it just keep the prisons full.
Here's the cycle.
Yeah,
That's what keeps
yeah,
the prison.
yeah.
Exactly. And that's what the white supremacists did it for.
Yeah.
See, when they know they were going to bring these prisoners here, they had to have a continuous supply
That's right.
of bodies to fill
And they're
those
not
beds.
going to do it with their children.
No.
They're not going to do it at all. No matter what their children do.
Exactly. They can get out. They got lawyers. see.
Yeah, they got lawyers, and their dad is the sheriff or the judge or somebody,
and
position,
then
or
they
either
pass-
best friend to them.
Then when I told them, say, go to court, clog it up. Don't do no plea bargaining.
That's right.
Don't do any plea bargaining.
Right.
When they started doing that, the white supremacists over in Jackson passed a law, say that if you go to court, fight your case, and you lose, you get life imprisonment.
Ain't that something?
That shouldn't even be in the Constitution. You can't do all that.
I know it.
But they do it in Mississippi
Yeah.
because they're the
Thank
most
you.
uneducated, stupidest state in the union. That's said on the smartphone.
Well, one way we can fix that is by voting and putting the right people in office. We
Like
got
me.
to. Yeah. Yeah, like yourself. Yeah.
Okay.
And like me. Because I'm not running again. But I admire the fact that you're 74. Uh-oh, I'm running for mayor next too, Bill. Great hope for 2 for mayor. Western, whoever get in there, Western, Jimmy, Robert, I'm coming for you 4 years from now.
Okay.
No, I'm not. Go ahead, Dice.
Okay. Emery Howe says, what is your plan to bring more business and small businesses to Meridian, specifically in areas that need certain things?
I'm glad he asked that question because I omitted something. Look, with this process here, I'm going to bring all type of people going to come when we get this process in place, because now we're going to have intelligent, holistic people living in Meridian. We're going to have people that can go to a job and be on time and stay there till the job is done and do the job and know how to read the signs up there. When they brought the plant over in Canton, people couldn't even read.
I know it.
Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah, they was
had
bringing
the
people come from they were coming from Memphis. That's where you want to live.
Yeah, they were. So we're going to have that and see when we go out.
So you're talking about fixing education?
No, this is bringing the jobs here.
No, but how you gonna bring the jobs if you don't have an educated workforce?
That's exactly right. See, once we start the student in being open and direct and being in order, then they'll be ready for a job when they come here. And see, and then not only that, when we bring these big companies here, they don't want to bring the billion-dollar companies here because these people, they'll lose their workers. And who cares?
Yeah, that's right. Who cares?
That's what I'm saying.
Pay
If
them
you don't
more
wanna
money.
pay them
more money. Yeah.
See,
They don't want to do that.
But I had to say something about the MDBC thing.
You got to.
That phony organization now should be run out of town on the rail.
I agree.
They don't do anything.
Not
Out of
anything.
8 years, they couldn't bring one company here that could pay
I
$15 to
think that
$20 an hour.
Western Lindemann said during y'all forum that Jimmy Smith said that organization need to receive more money. Wow, man, if he said that, he definitely out of touch because the EMBDC is a waste. It ain't nothing but giving some Eurocentric males a healthy lifestyle because they're not doing anything in this city. Nobody should give them not one red penny, and I said that. If I was on this, you better be glad y'all didn't elect me.
And I talked to Hannah, the president. I told him he was just blowing smoke.
That's all
I
he
said,
do.
because I ain't seen nothing that y'all did.
Nobody has seen anything. They hadn't done anything. She had another ribbon. We don't need another restaurant or another hotel.
That's what I'm saying.
We need some real jobs here.
And they sabotaged. It was a couple of companies going to come in, were going to pay big money. They sabotaged it.
So that's their
No,
purpose
I
and
don't
goal.
say
Yeah, they
nothing
need to
about
go.
MBC.
Whoever benefit from them being there should pay them, like Slay Steel and A&B Electric, all these other places. Keep building these buildings such as the Children's Museum and Arts and Entertainment. It's not going to really bring any real dollars into this city.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
That's why you got to have a hook. My process will be the hook to bring people here. They're going to be wanting to come get what we have in Meridian, the systemic racism. They want racism, systemic racism training all over the United States. They ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
But I got it here. So, yes, I'm going to bring jobs here and high-paying jobs. I'm not going to be concerned about another greasy spoon open up.
That's right. Dice.
Okay. So now Joanne Hope says, hello, everyone.
Hey,
Hello,
sis.
Joanne.
Joanne.
That's my sister.
All right. Emery Howell also says, it did sound wrong at first, but I do understand what you mean. Mississippi needs better teachers and leaders, point blank, in
That's
school, in business, and being mayor of a city.
That's right. Thank you, Emery, for that comment.
We'll tell you for that.
observation. Yeah.
Okay. Tony Owens says, good afternoon, guys.
Hey,
What's
man.
up, Tony?
Hello, Tony.
Tony be having me back too, Dice. Because I've been sick. Boy, I'm telling you, man, I just about didn't even want to. I didn't want Tracy to know, because Tracy would have came and drugged me out of it. I mean, Tony did it. Tony made sure I got what I needed to be okay.
Yeah,
Thanks, babe.
Like old Tony. All right. Emery Howell says also that Percy took other people's ideas and claimed them.
Yep. He's bad about that. I wish I'd have did what you did when I gave him a couple of plans, and he still have those plans. I drew it up like that, but I didn't copyright it, and I didn't keep it. I gave it to him, and I gave it to John Flowers. Dice.
But this is copyrighted and all belongs to me, and I'm turning it over to the city.
Once you become mayor.
Yeah, once I become mayor.
But if you don't become mayor, you'll still say
My
yourself.
mentor taught me, don't ever give anything away. Always sell it. See? So that's what I'll be doing. And I may sell it to another city if Marie don't get it, and they'll become a rich city.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a place for
I
this.
think we got to stop looking at we got to stop looking at individuals, whether or not we like them, but look at what they're bringing to the table. They're bringing substance to the table, and it's going to take us to that next level. Then we got to be colorblind, and we got to be whatever. But in this city here, it's bad for that. If they don't like you, they won't promote you. If they don't like you, they'll demote you. If they don't like you, they'll come after you. And that's what this administration brought to this city. And never seen anything like it. I hope whoever's elected mayor is able to take us where we need to be at. I hate to say this, but I think God has a lot to do with what's going on. And if God got a lot to do with what's going on, then God know what God's doing.
It'll be providence when I get in there. It'll be providence because I'm the only one with something ready to go to fix the city.
Well, Weston got a lot ready.
He got a lot in his head,
but
until you put it out there where you can see it and it's a tool to go.
I need to see a debate between you and Weston. Weston, next time you come, I need Robert to come here. Y'all want to do a debate right here, you and Weston?
Yeah, we'll do it, but he ain't ready
You
for
didn't sound like
He's not ready.
You didn't sound like you had confidence when you said that. Then are you ready for him?
Yeah, I'm ready for him, but it's
But
really,
tell him, say you'll debate him right here on the Reaching Out with Eddie show.
I'll debate you anywhere, and we'll be on the Eddie show, and we'll debate.
I like that. Dice, go ahead.
Okay.
Robert the man. Ain't scared either, too, Bill. Very intelligent, too. My first time meeting you. My pleasure.
Okay. Jim Myers says, just now tuning in, keep the truth going. I'm sharing this broadcast.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay. Johnny Magruder says, what will you do with the check the state will get for the COVID response, which you have to put in infrastructure, healthcare, and I forgot the other? And what will you do to help my nephew at school?
I would spend it all. I would spend every penny of it. Coming from the federal government, I would spend it all, and then it would still be some things that need to be done. But I said, Mr. Jimmy, he want to put it in a fund to draw interest off of it. That's his plan. But I would spend every penny of it.
It need to be spent.
Yeah, it need to be spent. It's federal money. It come down. Spend it for the people. Every penny of it I would spend.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I have to do research on it. When the federal government give you money for something, you have to spend it for that. You can't put it in a bank account and let it draw interest on it, because the state of Mississippi laws, if I'm not mistaken, last year in 2020, they had, I think it was either $300,000 or $600,000 went back to the federal government because they didn't use that money for what it was supposed to be, what it was earmarked for. The state of Alabama did not lose any money, but the state of Mississippi did, and
That's
it has
the
a lot.
money.
Yeah,
That's
money.
the money.
And so if Jim is talking about putting money in the bank and letting it draw interest on it, it wouldn't draw interest long. That money gonna have to go back to the federal government if it don't get used for what it's supposed to be used for.
That's not good thinking.
Yeah.
That stroke and stuff must be messing with his brain to think that.
Yeah.
You want to spend money. You got the poor city probably in the South and in the nation, and you want to put the money in the bank. No, we'll spend the money. We'll do what we see. We'll get all those
you can do
potholes
with
up.
Whatever you can do with it.
Whatever
it's
you can do
earmarked
with
for, spend it for it. If it's for education, spend it on
Spend it.
education.
We're gonna spend it
if it's
all.
for the infrastructure, spend it on the infrastructure. Whatever it's earmarked for, spend it. Spend
when
it all.
Biden asked me where the money at, I said we need more. We need more of the money. Yeah, we'll spend it. I would spend it.
Nice.
Okay. Jim Myrick says, just train qualified people, no matter race or gender.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. But see, the reason I want it to be a race thing is when these people get 20 people get trained, and their racism is gone. See, now you got a role model for each race.
Yeah.
So these are going to be role models for people. When they see racism pop up, they're going to check it. And they're going to say, no, we're not having that. We're not going to arrest a person on the count of race. We're not going to do anything for individuals counting on race. We're not going to do it. And when I train these 20 officers, they're going to be role models for all the other people in the city. You would be amazed if 20 police officers that's holistic, non-racist, and wear many caps when they go out and do their job. Hey,
I think somebody's on there. We got another caller. Okay, caller, you on the podcast.
Hey, Eddie Hope, I'm calling back. I forgot to mention this part. Mr. Ray was talking earlier about his book. He helped keep those offenders about a prison, which was true. And they offered him $50,000 for him to give them their plan. The reason why they wanted that book was they were going to use that book to their advantage and reverse everything that he said. They were going to flip it to try to get the offender to come back to prison. But he didn't sell the brothers out. He didn't sell them out. He didn't sell the book. And I commend him for that. And you know, when you be in the hot seat, people tend to go on Google and Google things. So, Mr. Ray, I want you to explain some of the things that you've written in your book. The book, specifically book I'm talking about, is the Nigger Holy Bible. You know, people been inboxing me about that.
You know, I wasn't going to bring it up, but I had to get it.
Listen, the Christian religion has been the downfall of the black race since they come out of slavery. When they got into this Christian religion, it was already a dead religion when they got into it. That's why they've been victimized so bad. That's why you got all these hotshot ministers out there that use their flock to live a rich lifestyle. My Nigger's Holy Bible was written to let people know what real worship is and what real religion is about. It's not about the Christian religion that the white people have forced down your throat. I mean, when you come out of slavery, they forced it on you. Before you was out of slavery, they forced it on you. Now you are so into it until you think that's all. You think you're going to get to heaven in there going with that religion. And then you ask people, I ask people all the time in the Christian, because I'll be teasing them. I'll say, how many gods you worship? What do you mean, how many gods I worship? I worship one God. I say, who is he? It's the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Okay, Mr. Ray, tell the people how they can go by ordering your book and how much your book is.
Hey, they blocked my book on Amazon. You hear me? The white supremacy.
You don't have no copy at home?
Yeah, I got a few copies at home. If you get in contact, the first come, the first serve, I get it. I get it.
Okay,
But
how much,
everybody,
how much is
$20, just $20. That'll be the most educated book. Matter of fact, if people got that book, they could raise their kid from the time he come in the world to the time they let him go out, to the time they push him out the nest. They could use that book.
And so that number that's on your website where you're running for mayor, they can call that number and get that book?
Yeah, they can get the book.
Okay, Hope.
All right, thank you, Lo.
I didn't want to mention that.
I mean,
because they get so they'll be worse on the Christian religion than the one on.
You know what? Hey, it's like this, man. The people that gonna vote for you, gonna vote for you.
I know.
The ones that know you, know you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think by the
Dice.
time they get to the voting thing, they'll be ready.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Lost my screen.
Probably some of them got shocked out there. What's the name of that book again?
The Niggas Holy Bible.
Dice told me about it. Dice been had it for a while. He got something similar.
And see, they banned it on Amazon.
Why?
Because it's telling the truth. See, they don't want.
What about copies? Can you get more copies made?
Yeah, I can get more copies made. I can tell them to send me all my stuff back. I can get another copy. But see, they know there's so much genuine truth in there. It's gonna mess up the whole religious thing.
You can buy anything off the internet. Go to the website and sell it. But anyway, Dice, what we got next?
Okay. Let's see. Johnny Magruder says, I believe you all need to get rid of the school board appointments. The school board appointments are made by the mayor. That's a disgrace. Other schools don't do it, so people should elect the school board like they elect you.
That I agree with that, but I think that one of the things that I think that if I was mayor, I would ask every board member to resign immediately, and I would go in there replacing them with people that's going to put some. We'll address all those issues that's affecting our children. There's no way we should wait, and I agree. School board members should be voted, but it would take Johnny. It would take a legislative act, and if I'm mistaken, they may have done away with it in the county now. I know they might not. I think they might be appointed now. I don't know, or either somewhere I was reading where they're doing away with it. But I think they should be elected by the people. But again, if you have a people that's not going to put the most qualified person in there, then we need to, at some point of time, something got to give. Because Percy put people in there that didn't care about the school system. He wasn't the most qualified person, in my opinion. The last time Dustin Markham was the most qualified person to take the city to the next level, but the people didn't accept that. I hope that they're more informed this time, that they make that it's okay to be critical. You got to understand that black votes do matter. You see it right here. But it doesn't matter if you don't know. If you don't vote, it doesn't matter if you don't make an informed vote. Right now, you're being treated with deliberate indifference. They take your vote for granted. That old way of doing politics is gone. Let's show them we're not the Negro from yesterday, or the nigger from yesterday, or the black man from yesterday, or the person from yesterday. We want to know what it is that you're going to do. We got to stop letting those meritorious manumission type folk get in office. That's going. The only thing they're going to do is to continue to take us in a downward spiral.
What I would do, now I know how to choose people. I choose actualizing people. I choose people that's honest. If I come in there and interview you and you say you're going to be here tomorrow at 8 o'clock, and then that's what I do. If you're not there tomorrow at 8 o'clock, then you
lost your credibility.
You don't go because you're not going to do what you say you're going to do.
That's right.
See, and the reason that the white people hate me and don't want me is because my intelligence and rationale and wisdom is way above where they are. See, if they were to ever read that nigga's Holy Bible, it would blow their mind. See, they would say, "How did he find that out? What's that?" So They fear me
Yeah.
because my understanding and rationale is a light year ahead of where they are. And that's the genuine truth.
That's
because my mentor put me there.
Yeah.
He made me that way. See,
Who was your mentor?
my mentor was a guy named Ron Cornwell up in Michigan, Linden, Michigan. He was my mentor, and he trained me. He said, I told him I was from Mississippi, and I said, well, you know, he said, you should be a counselor. I said, well, you know, I don't too much care about white people doing the thing. He said, well, I'll take the racism and we'll deal with that. And he did. He took that racism out of me and pushed it to the circumference. That's why only a person who's not a racist can teach people about racism and get them away from racism.
That's right.
Same way he treated me, see. So this is what
Was he a
I
white
would be
guy?
doing. Yeah, he was a white guy. And but I'm a light year ahead of where white people at, especially in Mississippi. I mean, because these white people in Mississippi been getting a free ride ever since the Jim Crow day. Couldn't read. Oh, get that position to him. Can't even read.
Yeah.
See, they've been doing it, and they still do it now. The people not qualified out at the prison.
You
They
gotta
had
tell
people
me,
out
I
there that
know.
wasn't qualified.
And in this city that are not qualified. Dice, take us to the next comment.
Okay. All Gas No Brakes 81 says, I thought they knew how many beds to prepare for prison when the child is in the 3rd grade, not age 3.
No, it's age 3. It's age 3. You know, that's when they start getting it, because they have to start getting them ready before they get to school.
Yeah.
See, if you get them into school, you might be able to talk them into going on loving to learn. See, but if he's 3 and you let him run wild like a lot of these mamas, baby mamas do, and double parents too,
Yeah.
let them do it. A guy told me today that a guy was in his bedroom asleep and his wife was out in the yard and the kids had got his gun and was out in the yard with it.
Yeah.
And he went out. That could have been a tragedy right there. What did he do? He went there, got the gun, and went on back in there and went to bed. You know, so you have to realize that unless you raise these kids right, they're going to be demons.
That's right. Dice.
They're going to be demons.
That's right.
Okay. Let's see. Emery Howe says it's time to have the uncomfortable conversations.
She's right. And not many people are willing to do that.
All right. Alina Marie Davis says, good evening, everyone.
Hey, Miss Davis.
Miss Davis?
Miss Davis. All Gas, No Brakes. I'm sorry, I already read that. Kristen Cockrell said, Jesus started preaching at 12, so how is him being too young to run for mayor? I think you kind of addressed that already.
Yeah.
Now, let me address that. I need to. When Jesus started preaching at 12, his father was God. He was already a rational man at 12 years old. That's why he could go in there and talk to doctors, physicians, and all of these people. When he went in there and talked to those people, 12 years old, he had already become a rational thinking man way above where they were. And by the time he got ready to preach, he was the divine man. See, you can't compare Jesus with anybody. Our parents wasn't God. His parents, his daddy was God. So that make all the hereditary things that he passed down to Jesus, it was a piece of cake for him to be able to do that at 12 years old. You see a lot of little geniuses that's in the world now that run little businesses and do amazing things because their daddy passed down a lot of good genes to them. But nobody passed down what Jesus had passed down to him. He had the whole 9 yards passed down to him. See, that's why he can do it.
All right. Dice.
Okay. Tristan B. Hampton says, I'm with you on this, Mr. Ray. Black folks are too stuck on Christianity and religion. Thank God it's a shift that's been happening the last few years.
And tell him he's right, because a lot of young people are pushed away from Christianity. They told me all we see is people going up there letting one man pimp them out every Sunday, and all of that other anniversary stuff
Yeah.
that they be giving money to. So the young people, they become too perceptive to fall for that anymore, Eddie.
Yeah, that's right. They are perceptive, and they exposed to a lot of learning, modes of learning now, through the internet, World Wide Web. Things just don't work for them anymore. And then they based on, hey, I'm in the real world. What's happening for me?
Mm-hmm.
Dice.
Okay. Sam Bell says, Assalamu alaikum, brothers.
What up, bro Sam? Walaikum assalam.
What's up, bro Sam? Let's see here. Tristan B. Hampton also says, I want a copy of your book. It's easy to make a copy of books nowadays.
You'll get it. I'll make sure you get it.
Okay. Fred Welch says, good evening, good people.
What up, Fred?
Yep.
What's up, Fred? And last but not least, DG Nation says, good evening, everyone. Have a question for Mr. Ray. So are you saying we shouldn't read the Holy Bible, King James Version?
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. But in the first place, you don't understand it. In the first place, you don't understand the reading of the word. Because you can go in that Bible and you can start any religion that you want to by reading in that Bible. You can go in there and get anything you want and victimize people. Look what Jim Jones did to a bunch of black people. See, he took all them people over in Guyana and made them drink poison Kool-Aid. And he was study quoting out the Bible. And he got them and took them over there. No, you shouldn't be reading the Holy Bible. You should be reading the niggas' Holy Bible is what people should, especially black people should be reading that. And we'll be a light year ahead of that Christianity stuff.
Anything you want to say to the people? Thanks, Dice, for those comments. Anything you want to say to the people, Mr. Ray? Appreciate you being here.
Okay, yeah. I
definitely want you to come back in the future. Well,
yeah, I will come back. I will come back because this is one way that media that you can get word out to the people.
That's right.
See, and I want to share with the people that I'm the best person for the job. I mean, I've got a plan and a process that fix people, places, and things. I've been doing this for 40 years. And I can fix the thing that's wrong with Meridian. I can fix the kids. I'm going to have teen counselors dealing with the kids under them. I'm going to have professional people teaching you how to be a professional worker. I'm going to have a committee going out to search out people that want to put their business someplace. We got the weather for it. We got the land for it. We just need to get the people geared for it. So I'm the only man that can really fix the Meridian, the atmosphere, and the way it is down here. Because I'm the only one with the tools to do it. It's just like if you're going to build a house. If you don't have your tools, the house won't ever get built.
That's right.
I got the tools right here. Once we fix that police department, then we'll be on our way. It'll be all downhill from there. So once y'all get out of y'all's popular delusion of wanting my head and wanting to kill the messenger, by the time June 8th roll around, I think y'all will see and use your rationale and see that Robert J. Ray is the best candidate for the mayor position. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you, Mr. Ray, for being here. I want to thank a couple of people. George Bradsfield was always a supporter. She always supported Lolo, and I just want to thank her. And she also supported Randall Jennings' candidacy. Randall Jennings will be here Tuesday. And so I want to thank, hopefully Mr. Smith will be here sometime in the future. But I want to thank you again, Mr. Ray, for being here.
It was my pleasure.
Yeah, and it's my first time meeting, bro. And I tell you, man, anybody have an opportunity to talk to this man should talk to him because he's just a panacea of knowledge. And I wish you all the luck and everything, but come back anytime, you know. I definitely need to take the herbs and things that you got.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be talking after the show, folks. Again, I want to thank you. So you guys be safe out there. Peace out. Dice, take us home.